Dear viewers and ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of ET Government, the Economic Times, I, Arpit Gupta, welcome our esteemed guest Rajiv Chandrasekhar, Honorable Minister of State for Electronics and Information Technology and Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India, to the second edition of DigiTech Conclave. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
Chandrasekhar does not need an introduction. He is an entrepreneur, technocrat, and a member of parliament in Rajya Sabha. He has studied electrical engineering at Manipal Institute of Technology and did masters in computer science in 1988 from Illinois Institute of Technology, Chicago. In April 2013, he was awarded an honorary doctorate by Vishwesvaraya Technological University, Belgaum, for his excellent work as an entrepreneur. In the parliament, Chandrasekhar is a vocal advocate on governance, technology, and economics. As the Minister of Information Technology, his focus is on reforms in economy and governance, technology and internet, issues related to youth, skill development, and issues concerning national security and sustainable governance for transforming India. It is an honor to have Honorable Minister in the DigiTech Conclave. Sir, with these words, I take pleasure in inviting you to share your thoughts and insights on governance, technology, and economics, and your vision for future-ready digital India and skill India. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you, delegates, ladies and gentlemen. I'm extremely honored to be speaking at this knowledge-sharing forum, aptly titled Leveraging New Tech Innovations for a Digitally Empowered India. I think it's an interesting moment in time as we are about to enter our 75th year of independence, and we are going to celebrate a whole year of Azadi Ki Amrit Mahotsav. And as we look back and see the large number of people who worked so hard to bring us here, especially over the last 6 to 7 years where we made these considerable transformations, this is also an occasion to look forward into the next 25 years and envision what kind of India we want, what kind of India we want to be living in, what kind of India we want to leave our children and future generations. Before I start, I just want to say that it is clear that your thoughts around this theme are the same as mine, that we are looking into the future. We are looking at an empowered India, and we are looking at how technology and digital can empower India. And as we chart out the next 25 years, it becomes extremely clear that technology and digital especially will play a big role in the transformation and the changes that we will bring to the lives of every individual Indian. As you are aware, I have just recently assumed my new responsibility as a Minister of State in the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi's team just a month ago. It's been about 32 days. And of course, I have spent most of my time in technology and first as an engineer, then as an entrepreneur, then for 15 years as an MP that was vociferous and vocal about all things technology in Parliament. And our Prime Minister, more than any single person that I have known in my life, has always looked at technology as a huge way to empower citizens, reduce the gap between citizen and government, reduce the gap between government and government, create employment and entrepreneurship opportunities in technology, services, and manufacturing. And with a combination of all this, the Prime Minister holds a vision of India being a world-beating digital economy. And those visions today are the goals for me at METI and goals for me at skill development. I consider myself indeed very fortunate to be here at this particular moment because to me, it seems that the efforts of the last 7 years by our government, along with the new post-COVID new world that we have been catapulted to, represents a huge opportunity for India as a nation to become a significant digital economy power and also at the same time become a country that can be providing the human resources required for the next phase of global development. Digital India and Skill India are two tremendously important pillars that will shape not just the future of our country, but in my opinion, shape the future of our region, and indeed many parts of the world. Both programs, as I said earlier, have great relevance in the post-COVID world. And while the Digital India program is part of the Prime Minister's vision to transform India into a digitally empowered society where every Indian citizen, however far he or she is from geographically from his state capital or her state capital, feels close and connected to the government, and in terms of the services that the government offers, and in terms of the benefits and subsidies that they are entitled to from the government. Digital India is a 1 lakh plus crore flagship program of the government of India. And since the mid 1990s, many e-governance initiatives in India took a broader dimension with an emphasis on citizen-centric services. But it is in the last 7 years that this concerted focus attempt of using technology to transform people's lives has really shown success and shown the way on how technology should be deployed for the benefit of the people. It has changed, in my opinion, the last 7 years, not just the lives of individual citizens, but it has also changed the very nature of how governments function and how governance is delivered. It was famously said many years ago that government monies that are sent for the benefit of individual citizens, very little of that reaches the Indian citizen. And under this government, under our government, we have deployed technology, we have used technology to absolutely turn that conventional wisdom on its head. And now lakhs and crores of rupees are being delivered by the government to the accounts of individual Indian citizens without any leakage, without any corruption, and with the extreme convenience for that citizen. With 118 crore mobile phones, 76.5 crore internet users, 129 crore Aadhaar, 43 crore Jandan bank accounts have all been created and enabled by the power of Digital India. The Digital India program is centered on 3 key vision areas: a digital infrastructure, which is connectivity, governance and services on demand, which is really digital government, and empowerment of Indians, which is the digital Indian. To that, we are adding in METI various other components to make India a digital economic power, which is the digital economy piece. We have ambitions as the task and the mission laid out by the Prime Minister that we will do $1 trillion digital economy in the next few years. We will focus on many areas of high technology, emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, blockchain, cybersecurity, hyperscale computing, all of these areas with a single pointed mission and intent that we want to be world beaters in these areas of high technology. We are also focused very, very significantly on a mission almost as a combination of the Skill Development Ministry, in which I wear a hat, as well as the METI, in making India the provider of skilled talent and human resources to the world as digitalization increases all over the country, all over the world rather, in the post-COVID era. We also want to make our cyber laws, rules and laws that govern the data economy and the digital economy amongst the best in the world, making it easy for business to invest and do business in India, as well as it is rightfully creating a trusted, open, accountable, and safe internet and tech ecosystem for the users that the ecosystem is supposed to serve. Connectivity in particular, in my opinion, is going to be a transformational, game-changing objective of this government. With the flagship BharatNet program that the Prime Minister launched some years ago, we hope to take the remaining unconnected Indians and bring them online. The power of having an additional 50 crore Indians coming online, having internet delivered to their homes, and unleashing the power of the internet for all those who have been outside the internet for these years is a tremendously transformational event. And I hope to see, working closely with the Department of Telecommunication, and both our MeitY and Department of Telecommunications share the same Union Minister, Mr. Ashwini Vaishnav. With his support, we hope to make sure that the 40 crore or 45 crore unconnected Indians come online and join this unleashing of their energies and innovation and entrepreneurial skills onto the power of the Indian economy. There are many challenges that still remain in terms of digital inclusion and making sure that every Indian is part of this journey of growth, expansion, and prosperity in terms of fulfilling the Honorable Prime Minister's vision of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas. Digital inclusion is a very, very powerful tool to making that happen. I will end by saying that one of the other powerful ideas that we are currently implementing at MeitY is the idea of converting every digital village into a fully connected village where every family has access to both the internet and low-cost devices to access the internet, thus empowering each village as a small unit of economic activity and transformation powered by the power of the internet and technology. Let me say a quick few words on the skill development side, where again I wear a hat. It is clearly one of the most exciting challenges that I have faced in my life. Both the skill development and the MeitY ministries have one common thing. It is that it has the ability to transform the lives of young Indians in ways that are permanent and sustainable. And in Skill India, over the last 5 years, since the Honorable Prime Minister launched Skill India Mission, the Skill India, the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship has built a large nationwide network of skilling centers, including the Prime Minister Kaushal Kendra and the training centers that deliver short-term training. We have a large network of ITIs that give long-term training and JSS that do community training. So a large, effective pipeline of training centers has been built. 2.5 crore almost Indians have been trained and skilled, and a large number of them have been employed or have converted to micro-entrepreneurship. The challenge in the coming years is to, as the Honorable Prime Minister said, as we celebrated the anniversary of Skill India just a few weeks ago, he said it's to take what we have built and give it a fresh, new impetus. And that is precisely what we are engaged in MSDE and at Skill India, which is to develop the next phase of the Skill India mission, where Skill India and as integrated by the new education policy into the educational system truly represents a viable, sustainable, alternate pathway for jobs and employment in addition to the higher education pathway that has existed for several decades in India. So a young student today in India will be able to, at 6th standard, 7th standard level, make these choices, life choices about whether he or she wants to go into higher education or go down the road of skill and vocational training, and then, if necessary, down the road, pivot back into the higher education lane because of the new technology and feature of academic banking of credits that the Ministry of Education is also launched. So that in a nutshell is where we are today. The power of technology and innovation is clearly going to define the next coming 25 years for India and Indians. That is the Honorable Prime Minister's vision. A tremendous amount of distance has been traveled in the last 7 years, which we couldn't travel for the 68 years before that. But a lot of gap has been covered in the last 7 years in terms of governance, in terms of integrity, in terms of transparency, all made possible by the power of technology. And going forward, I think the power of technology will continue to empower and enable Indians, continue to make government more efficient, and continue to make India a rapidly growing digital economy and a technology leader of the world. That is my fond hope. And I hope you share that same hope and vision, because that is the direction that our Honorable Prime Minister is taking this country to become one of the most respected, one of the most prosperous, one of the most equitable countries in the world amongst the table of nations. And so that is really what I believe the future will hold for us. And if we continue to work together as a motivated country, motivated population, not be distracted by the things that our enemies and foes will keep throwing at us to slow down our rise. If we are committed and determined to rise as a country, rise as a people, there is no stopping us, and technology will be providing the propellant to take us to the top.
Thank you, Mr. Chandrasekhar, for sharing these insights. I have a couple of questions. While you said India is emerging as a global IT superpower, and we all know that. So as part of your strategic priorities, is there any policy-driven roadmap going forward like Digital India 2.0?
No, look, I think, Arpit, to be very clear, we have priorities that have been laid down by our Honorable Prime Minister, which is, like I said, connecting all Indians is a number one priority. Basically, allowing the power of technology to touch everybody's life, every Indian's life. The second is to make India a $1 trillion economy. We are clearly committed to expanding manufacturing, in addition to expanding technology services. So there are a number of areas that our ministry will focus on, including digital government and digital governance. So there are 5 broad areas that we are focused on. I have laid out 3. The other 2 are, like I said, providing talent to the rest of the world. So having a skilling program that makes India have the most skilled technology and IT manpower in the world. And the issue of having leadership in at least 2 or 3 high-tech areas as a nation, and partnering with other countries in the strategic emerging technology areas of the future. So these are our priorities, and I think we are 31 days later. I think we have a clear idea of how to get there.
Which are your major focus areas, and how do you want to achieve your vision to fulfill the growing need in India for skilled manpower across sectors?
We have done considerably in the last 4 to 5 years in Skill India 1.0. There is some working with my senior minister, Dharmendra Pradhanji. We are working on looking at how to take Skill India 1.0 to the next level, how to make skilling and vocational training truly aspirational, how to make more and more people choose skilling and vocational training as a viable route and a gateway to not just jobs, but also micro entrepreneurship. How to link capital and financing to this gateway on this runway of opportunity in vocational training and in skilling. So there are many ideas today. We are in the process of discussing it internally and externally with many people who understand this very well. Like I said, I've been here 31 days, and the brief from the Honorable Prime Minister is very clear. He wants us to build on what we have already achieved, but build and take it to the next level, and that we will.
One more question, sir, around emerging technologies. You talked about artificial intelligence and other emerging technologies. They will surely play a key role in achieving government's vision of making the digital economy reach $1 trillion of GDP by 2025. I'm sure. What steps are being taken to further augment the digital economy, and what role do you see for the private sector playing to achieve this vision?
Oh, look, I think the private sector in technology has played a very powerful role. The government has played a role in certain strategic technology areas and has played the role of an enabler. So we will continue to play that role. Earlier today, I addressed a large number of technology businessmen, and I laid out that the opportunity exists today, that today we have about 25 to 30 companies that are doing 5,000 crores of revenue in technology. And I have said that it is clearly possible that we can have almost 300 to 500 of them in the next 4 to 5 years. So the opportunity is out there. The world sees India today as a trusted and competitive technology partner. the countries of Western Europe, countries of the Americas, countries of Asia see India as a very, very reliable, trusted partner in the area of technology. And I think that in itself represents a huge opportunity for us to go from the $200 billion of software today to $500 billion. And the success in mobile phone manufacturing gives us the confidence that we can go in electronic manufacturing to becoming one of the world's largest electronic manufacturer, trusted electronic manufacturer. Because currently, post-COVID, the world certainly is looking for trusted country partners in the area of technology and electronics.
Right, Mr. Chandrasekhar, before we conclude the conversation, one very important thing I would like to understand: the Personal Data Protection Bill would make India a leading country to have a cutting-edge framework in terms of data protection. The government is also looking at reviving the IT Act. Can you please throw light on the possible amendments?
No, look, I can't say anything about the amendments because the bill is currently in the custody of the parliament. The parliament is deliberating it. A parliamentary committee is deliberating it. But I can tell you our Honorable Prime Minister's vision for laws and rules in general. His laws, his philosophy has always been ease of doing business and ease of living. So while consumer rights must be protected at all costs, because privacy is a fundamental right, there is also an aspiration and ambition that the laws must not make businesses struggle under the weight of compliance. So we think those two objectives, while they seem contradictory, can be balanced, and that we can have a world-class set of laws, world-class set of rules that makes every country want to, or every company want to invest in India, build a digital business in India, create growth, create opportunity, and create employment.
Sir, a lot of policymakers, industry leaders, and technology solution providers are listening to this conversation. So my last question to you is, what are your priorities for the current fiscal and Vision 2025 and your roadmap for strengthening your delivery of skill development using technology?
Let me say, for this current fiscal, the Honorable Prime Minister has already laid out the task and mission for all of us as a nation, has said that he wants to double exports to 400 billion by the end of March. And the IT industry is a very important part of the export basket from India. And it is something that we are working with the IT industry to try and ramp up exports because the opportunity out there exists. So that is our immediate focus. As the opportunity presents itself, India must not miss the opportunity. India must grow. Indian tech must grow. In terms of skill development, like I said to you, our main objective in the short term is to offer more blended courses. Because of the COVID pandemic, many training centers, physical training is not possible. So we want to obviously create more and more blended programming so that skilling does not come to a halt. We don't want skilling to become slow down, and it has slowed down during COVID. So we want to do that, and we also want to, like I said, design Skill India in a sense for the next 10 years or the next 5 years at the very minimum. What kind of skills? How can we skill better? How can we link more and more employability to skilling? And how can we make skilling and vocational training, like I said earlier in the conversation, more aspirational for the millions and crores of Indian youth that seek a better future and seek prosperity and opportunity as they come out of school.
What a great insights. Thank you for sharing these knowledge and expertise with ET Government, Honorable Minister. I would like to extend my gratitude to Rajiv Chandrasekhar, Honorable Minister of State for Electronics and Information Technology and Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India, for sharing his expertise and knowledge at the second edition of DigiTech Conclave. It was a very enriching session and pleasure talking to Honorable Minister. We wish him all the best for his future endeavors. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Arpit.